What's going on, guys? This is Miasin and welcome to my zombie deck profile. Again, I haven't made a zombie deck profile in so long. And of course, because of the ban list, we lost so much, man. We lost Chaos Ruler and Needle Fiber. It's very unfortunate. However, we still have the Danger Monsters and now we have the Bisted Monsters as well. We still have Rivalry and Zombie World. We no longer have Fairy Tale Snow either, although I will say Fairy Tale Snow wasn't actually as good in this deck as it was in like Tier Laments, for example. In Tier Laments, it was like unfair because that deck could actually mail way more. But this deck is still really fun. I wouldn't really bring this to like a YCS or something. However, you can definitely test this out in locals and definitely have a lot of fun, and even regionals, I want to say, because it really is that enjoyable. And it's also well equipped to go second because it has a lot of juice cards that allow you to break boards. You play a bunch of hand traps, you play a bunch of extenders and board breaking cards. So before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. If this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a live stream on this deck, so smash the like button right now, my man, and also the subscribe button as well, and now let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm playing a bunch of Danger Monsters. I'll organize them a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, one Bigfoot, one Mothman, one Chupacabra, triple Nessie, and then of course the one Tsuchinoko and one Jackalope. So these 5 dangers are the guaranteed dangers. You don't really care if they get sniped because they refund themselves. However, these 3, they can be a little risky if you start with them. But if you already have, Danger Monsters in the grave or something, the Chupacabra can revive back one of them, so it's not bad. And the Mothman, it's really risky if you're playing against Tier Elements, so you would usually side it out against them. But if you're not, then it's usually a very nice card. And of course, the Bigfoot is a card that is extremely good going second, and it's, I want to say, one of the best monsters to discard off of the Jackalope because you can summon it and then use maybe like a Foxy Tune or the Gem Dragon Drive in order to make the Zombie Vampire and keep playing from there. So it's a good way to play through interruptions, and again, it's a big beater, 3k attack. Free special summon the majority of the time, except when you're bad at the game and you play against an American sniper. But yeah, 8 Danger Monsters, if my maths are not too garbage, they usually are. And then for the Punk Monsters, I should be on 4. So 1 Foxy Tune, 1 Deer Note, and then double Xiamen. Bare minimum, I'm not playing Ogre Dance or any additional Punk Monsters that I feel would be unnecessary. The Punk Engine doesn't have to be big now because it's not really like you're prioritizing it anymore. So it's kind of like a luxury when you draw it, but you don't really care that much. All it really does is summon Gem Dragon Drive, Surge Ghost Ogre, and then allows you to go into Zombie Vampire, mill a bunch of cards, revive back a monster potentially. So it's still decent, but it's not like ridiculously unfair, degenerate, or overpowered. So yeah, again though, it's definitely not something that I think you should be passing on because I don't think the deck has any other better extenders that you can really play. Maybe like a Splice Engine, but at this point, just play another deck. Deadass, honestly. But yeah, so that's it for these cards. And of course, for the zombie cards, well, first of all, I'm playing 1 Destrudo. Very, very good card. It can allow you to make FA Down Dragster, but even if you don't have Destrudo, you can still make FA Down Dragster using maybe, I don't know, Xiamen or Unizombie and any other of your level 4 monsters. You play a bunch. Mothman, Chupacabra, Mizuki, Gozuki, and Solitaire. And for the Bisted Monsters, they're also hand traps, so great going second. And also good going first because they're extenders. So 1 Druid Worm, triple Magnamut. One thing that you could be doing would be playing Beatrice, but I'm not playing enough level 6 monsters to the point where it becomes worth it. And this is not like Tier Laments where you can actually reliably summon Garura on your first turn using like 1 monster. So it's a little neggy to go into Beatrice unless you're going second and you can resolve that Magnamut to Surge the Druid Worm and immediately start your turn with like 2 level 6 monsters on the field. But yeah, definitely a play that you can consider. It's just that the extra deck space is extremely tight. Anyways, double Banshee because it can activate Zombie World. This card is good. The ratios are not like 100% final, so if you have like any feedback, please let us all know in the comment section below. And then 1 Gozuki because it is involved in a few combos where you can just send it off of Unizombie and then summon the Mizuki from the hand. And then you'll be able to revive back the Gozuki and send another Mizuki. So it's a nice way of being able to, just extend a little more. You can actually end on Omega and Dweller using just 2 cards. And that would be Solitaire as well as Mizuki. So it's just a very simple 2-card combo. And speaking of the Devils, double Mizuki and 1 Solitaire. This card is a little bricky if you draw it in tandem with Unizombie, so 1 copy is way more than enough. And double Mizuki because it's a great card to mill, but not necessarily a great card to draw unless you can like consistently discard it off of the dangers. But it's not really an engine starter, it's really just an extender. Although I will say I am open to potentially playing 3 copies of this card, and maybe 3 Banshee, but I really doubt it. I think 2 is enough because it's very easy to foolish. Now, one card that I think you absolutely have to play 3 of would be the Unizombie. This card is just really good. It's a tuner monster, it's a foolish burial, and it doesn't lose that hard to Ash. Because if you get ashed on Solitaire, you don't even have a body on the field. But if you get ashed on Uni Zombie, at least you still have a body. So if you can summon any other monster, you could potentially go into Curious and play as if nothing ever happened. And yeah, I already explained the Danger monsters, the Punk monsters, and Ghost Ogre is a card that you can search off of the Jam Dragon Drive. Could be one of your potential interruptions. This deck doesn't lose at all to Dark Ruler because your end board is just like Rivalry, Zombie World, and maybe like hand traps in your hand, like the Bisted monsters that you're searching, or like Ghost Ogre or whatever. Anyways, Foolish Burial, great extender, can search, can send either of these monsters, so Banshee, Mizuki, and Destrudo. And then, of course, triple Super Poly. If you have a Zombie World on the field, Super Poly is like the most generic card ever. You can summon Dragon, Necro, Nether Soul Dragon, or Garura at any time, so it's just free real estate. Triple Emergency Teleport, double Zombie World, and triple Rivalry of the Warlords, which is by far the best card in this deck. And for the extra deck, I think this is also relatively self-explanatory. So one Dragon Necro, one Garura, the Super Poly targets, one Baron that you can easily make with like, let's say, the Danger Nessie and like Uni Zombie or like Xiamen or something. So it's like built in into your engine, it's an Omni Negate, so it's always really good. And you can also, if you negate on like your very first turn, and not that it really comes up, but yeah, I mean, you would be able to like revive back one of your monsters in the graveyard or something. Maybe revive back a Ghost Ogre if the negate was already used up, so that you can kind of still trade it into like a card that can do something. And of course the Omega that you can easily summon, get back your Mizuki, so you always have a play for the grind. One Jam Dragon Drive, it's involved in the combo. FA down Dragster, already explained it. So two Omni Negates for Mystic Mine. Zombie Vampire, really good card. Dweller, also very good against Tier Elements. So if you know that you're playing against Tier Elements, your end board's going to be completely different. Griffin, Appaloosa, Vampire Fascinator, really nice to break boards and stuff like that. Also allowing you to make the Zombie Vampire, it's just a really nice card. But it does lock you under Zombie if you use the second effect to take control. No, sorry. No, it's the first effect that actually locks you under Zombie, the one that revives back a monster from the opponent's grave. It's still a nice card, but I don't know. But yeah, technically with 0 level 8 monsters, you can still make the Zombie Vampire. It's just a really unique card. And of course, Curious, Vampire Sucker, Avenged Savior, really nice card because of its second effect. Not really the first one because you're not playing any Vendred cards. However, when it does battle, you can Foolish your deck for any zombie monster from the deck to the grave, and your opponent loses attack equal to the level of the monster Foolished, multiplied by 100 if I recall correctly. And finally, IP Masquerena so that you can make Appaloosa on your opponent's turn. So 15 card extra deck, obviously. And for the idea section, maybe a third Banshee with a third Zombie World. Glow Bloom, but without Needle Fiber, this card's just not even that good. It locks you under Zombie only. You could play it, but it's a brick, and I don't know, like, you could play it, but it locks you under Zombie only, so if you use it, you can't really go into, like, your Curious and Griffin play and stuff like that. So, with my Uni Zombie, I'd rather just send the Doom King right away, and then I'm getting it back on the next turn anyway, so it's not like getting the body on the field right now would be, like, that much extra value. And it's not really worth the drawback of, like I said, not being able to do, like, anything for the rest of the turn. Now, Psychic and Punisher is a very easy card to summon with the Punt cards. That is still something that you can easily do. Shiranui, Sun Saga, and, well, actually, this shouldn't be there. And Red-Eye Zombie Dragon Lord are just a little hard to summon now, so I don't really know if I recommended them too much. Shen Shen is also relatively hard to summon, but you can still do it. It's just that I don't know if it's like an insta-win against the meta anymore. A bunch of decks can play through the Shen Shen. Corpse Dragon Lord Felgor. Oh, no, sorry, the name changed. Skeletal Dragon Lord Felgor. Sorry. Yeah, it's a good card, but without this card, it's not really that good. Access code Yukiona. This is actually really, well, it used to be broken because of Needle Fiber, but now it's like meh. Unicorn, if you want to have like an extra target for Masquerena. Dark, very good, should be in the main deck most likely. Maybe replace this with like this. And then Relinquished Anima if you want to play Glow Bloom, and Cobb at the Grave because I don't think it deserves a spot in the main deck. The reason for that is because everybody's on like Imperm, Super Poly, Dark Ruler, and the Bisted monsters, so no hand trap is actually really hitting the graveyard, and even like Gamma and Nibiru. Yeah, Cobb at the Grave doesn't really hit that much anymore. Things have changed. Like, the only hand trap that you would really be able to hit would be like Veiler and Ash. That's pretty much it. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.